The American job market is propped up by part-time employment, and the last Kmart closes. Today, I read an article on CNN Business written by Brian Mina titled, "Americans Are Fretting Over the Job Market." The author of this article referenced the Consumer Confidence Index reading, which fell to 98.7 in September, down from August's upwardly revised 105.6. The author went on to say, employers in July had the fewest job openings since January of 2021, and the unemployment rate stood at 4.2% in August. Employers just aren't hiring at the same breakneck pace that they did when the economy first rebounded mightily from the COVID-19 pandemic. Here are my thoughts. I think Americans should be fretting over the job market. Many who have a job should feel fortunate. I worry about what the future holds for the job market here in America. There is plenty of evidence that suggests the economy is slowing. There is also plenty of evidence that American consumers are struggling financially. The 50 basis point cut recently by the Fed should clue you into the fact that the economy is cooling. While there are plenty of people in the news claiming we will have a soft landing, the opposite could certainly happen. We could enter an ugly recession, and we could see a correction in equities at some point. If these things come to fruition, businesses will likely react by reducing human capital. I'm not sure all Americans are ready for this. Some are levered up with a lot of debt. Many thought the party would go on forever. When paychecks stop coming in and there are few new job prospects, life gets real. I read some of the comments beneath this article. I'll share some of them with you. One commenter said, "It doesn't help that many industries seem to be primed for layoffs again this year. It was around this time I got laid off from my job at the Federal Reserve Bank for budget reasons. They wanted to replace my position with somebody fresh from college that's cheaper." The next commenter said, "Of course, people are fretting about the job market. Remember back 4 years ago when the federal government was handing out free money. Many states were padding unemployment checks. Now many people were in dire straits with no work and desperately needed that money, while others, including myself, continued to work and really didn't need the extra money, though I'm sure no one returned it. When things settled down and people returned to work, many had flexibility they never had before. The job market was hot with lots of hiring. People were able to change jobs more readily and demand higher wages. Now, 4 years later, things have cooled off and are returning to normal. It's not a matter of the current situation that's causing pessimism. A lot of people are just coming off the elevated mood that was caused by the roller coaster ride over the last 4 years. I'm curious, what do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. I read another story today about the labor market in America. I read this on Yahoo Finance, put out by Business Insider, and written by Jennifer Soar, titled, "Americans Running Out of Unemployment Benefits and Part-Time Jobs at Record Levels Point to a Recession Coming, Economist Says." The author of this article referenced Danielle DiMartino Booth, who is a veteran forecaster and QI Research founder. She said, "Workers who once qualified for unemployment insurance are now rolling off their benefits. Workers in most states have 26 weeks of paid unemployment benefits, but according to the BLS, 21% of workers are now taking more than 27 weeks to find a new job, up 3% from last year." The author went on to say, the number of part-time workers in the U.S. has climbed to an all-time high. The number of employees that usually work part-time climbed to 28.2 million in August, the highest number since the government began recording the data in the 1960s. Here are my thoughts. This is all happening during a time when the mainstream media and some politicians tell us the economy is booming. This is all happening during a time when the stock market is near all-time highs. I think it is grim news that the number of employees that usually work part-time has climbed to the highest number since the government began recording the data in the 1960s. Part-time work is not how people support local community businesses. Part-time work doesn't help someone afford an overpriced home in America. Part-time work doesn't help someone afford a new vehicle, especially since the average transaction price for a new vehicle in America is near $50,000. Part-time work doesn't help cover the sky-high cost of groceries. Part-time work doesn't help someone afford the ever-increasing cost of daycare for children. Part-time work also doesn't help someone have a good quality of life. Some people need to work multiple part-time jobs just to survive. For some, that isn't even enough. They need to rely on credit cards and buy now, pay later loans just to cover their bills. This is the sad state of affairs here in America. If this is all happening now, how bad could this get in the future if our economy takes a turn for the worse? I suspect most people aren't ready for what could become reality at some point. Maybe politicians and economists think the soft landing will come to fruition if they say it enough on television. While it is certainly a possibility, I think people need to consider the alternate as a possibility and prepare for it. I'm curious, what are you doing to prepare? Are you keeping your skill set up to date in case you become unemployed? Are you building up an emergency fund to rely on? Are you paying off your debts? Some people may be preparing for a rainy day. I think they should consider preparing for a Category 5 hurricane in a financial sense. If it ever comes to fruition, they will be happy they were ready. I'm sure some of your family, friends, neighbors, and coworkers aren't preparing. Some may be coming to your door looking for help in the future. What are you going to do then? Tell me about it in the comment section below. I read another interesting story today. This one was on CNN Business, written by Chris Iseldor, titled, "Attention Kmart Shoppers, the last full-size Kmart in the mainland United States is closing." According to the author, Kmart, once one of America's leading discount retailers, is closing its last full-size store in the mainland United States. The store in Bridgehampton, New York on Long Island is due to close October 20th. Here are my thoughts. It is the end of an era. Just recently, I reported about Tupperware filing for bankruptcy. Now the last Kmart is closing. Life is certainly different in America than it was in the 1960s, 1970s, and 1980s. I remember going to Kmart before I had ever even heard of Walmart. I remember the blue light specials that Kmart would have. I'm sure some young people today don't even know what a blue light special is. For those of you who have no clue what I'm talking about, Kmart would flash a blue light and say, "Attention Kmart shoppers," over the PA system, and customers could hurry to purchase the item that was discounted. Unfortunately, Kmart started to look pretty tired in the late 1980s and early 1990s. A lot of their inventory also was pretty dated. It's unfortunate they were unable to remain relevant as time progressed. If you ever spent any memorable time at Kmart as a younger person, please tell me about it in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.